Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. This is the Sea Viper Starter Guide, and I'm going to be going over pretty much everything there is to know about Sea Viper, including a lot of tips and tricks. And I'm talking like the difficult stuff as well, because I know when it comes to feints, super jump cancels, all that, Viper's hard. She's the hardest Street Fighter 6 character. I think that's very fair to say. So I'm going to go over everything you need to know from the basic stuff to the advanced stuff, all points in between in this video. And of course, this is going to be a long video. There'll be timestamps everywhere, so feel free to skip forward for whatever makes sense to you. And especially for players that are struggling, stuff on feint and super jump cancels, that'll have its own sections. And since I'm making it easy for you to skip around, please leave a like. It helps out the video a lot. So that said, we got a lot of ground to cover, and before we really get to anything, let's talk the pros and cons of Viper. Why would you want to pick Viper, or maybe why should you avoid her? So pro number one is Viper is Viper. So there was a lot of fears going into Street Fighter 6 Viper would somehow like not survive as the identity of Viper in Street Fighter 6, and she absolutely did. And in fact, that's some of the pain points, as we'll talk about in some of the other sections, as she's a lot more technical than other characters in the game. So she definitely has her own identity. And to that point, she doesn't Street Fighter 6 very well, although I guess you could consider that a benefit. No crouch, medium kick, drive rush here, although there is throw loops. That's a good thing. And she actually has one of the better throw loops in the game, but we'll get to it in that specific section. And for some more generic pros, hey, pretty workable buttons, stand medium kick and stand heavy punch, both good range, and both heavily benefit by the fact that she can super jump cancel them, right? They're not normally special cancelable, but thanks to super jump cancelable, everything's special cancelable effectively. Her offense is very open in that way. And, you know, that's traditional decent buttons, right? When it comes to just, beyond hitting buttons, hey, projectile wise, she has a effectively full screen low. It is set distance, but that distance is very wide, especially in the medium. Medium controls most of the screen. And it's a low. You gotta crouch block. It is not like other projectiles or ground pounds like, say, JP, like where you can just hold back the block. You gotta crouch block. And if you're crouch blocking, you ain't moving, which is a pretty big deal. So at pretty much any range of the screen, people gotta watch them toes. And then, of course, you can feint it just like, a lot of her offense. So you never know which one's the real one to worry about. So people are just trying to parry stuff on reaction. They might just have, burned half a drive bar on nothing. And of course, well, we're talking neutral. Hey, how about skipping neutral? Because, she has super jump. We got super jump. She's the only character with super jump. And with super jumps come a lot of mobility. That was like a 90% of the screen cross up, because that's something she can do. Other characters, maybe not so much. And in fact, just her gimmick potential is very high, because okay, get crossed up from point blank. Get crossed up from blocking a jab. Like, what? No other character can do that. She can. But even say, they're fast enough to block cross-ups on reaction, they're not always going to be cross-ups. You choose what side you land on, right? Like, the correct answer is parry, not actually, blocking. And she can just force weird left-right stuff in a way other characters can't. When it comes to, overhead low, she has an overhead, yes. And, obviously she has lows, but, maybe not as threatening as some other characters. But when it just comes to gimmicky left-right, it's, top in class. She's just got a very serviceable game plan in a lot of ways that are very tricky and very stylish and fun, because even doing basic combos is a lot more, well, frankly, executionally demanding than other characters. Take something like this here, right? Executionally, that's beyond most of the rest of the cast. But something she can do, and it's a basic kind of thing for her. But now, leading directly into cons. She's meter hungry. That little combo there, you might not have seen me turn green a bunch of times or whatever, like how it usually works in Street Fighter 6. But that was a meter hungry combo. In fact, just about everything she does, that's basic, is meter hungry. Every super jump cancel takes meter. And that'll wind up adding up. Because even basic stuff, you gotta want to do super jump cancels, because that's the character, right? Like every ground pound into a burn kick, that's a bar. Maybe you're not turning green once again, but it adds up. Trying to look cool doing the cool guy stuff? You can do it. You're going to pay for it, right? Like, that's expensive. Now, to her credit, you do level 1, you get a buff. And with that buff, all this fun stuff gets free, right? So you want to use the buff when you got it, right, to its maximum effect, but, you know, it's not always going to be there. And, of course, well, the big bugbear is, we talk about the fancy stuff. She has the fancy stuff. Her stuff is more executionally difficult to do than just about anyone else in Street Fighter 6. Like, the most technical characters besides Viper would be Chun and Dhalsim, right? And she's just another level beyond them. And her stuff, well, it did survive from Street Fighter 4, right? The hard stuff is still there. The cool stuff she's made her own is still there. It's easier than it was in Street Fighter 4 for the most part. Like, Seismo loops, right? Like, I used to struggle with those in Street Fighter 4, and like, it's child's play for me here. And don't worry, we'll cover how to do that later in the video, right? But yeah, I used to struggle, and it's easier here, but it's still more than what other characters ask for, because you're not just crouch medium kick, turn green with a drive rush, do combo, right? So while she's maybe not as hard as she was at her hardest, she's still harder than everything else this game has to offer. So if you know, feats of like technical dexterity, moving your fingers quick are an issue, Viper might scare you off a little bit. And the other thing that's really a knock against her, and it's not as bad as some other characters have, is defense. So she does have an anti-air move, right? So heavy Knuckle is air invulnerable like a Shoryuken. However, EX Knuckle is no EX Shoryuken. It is not full invincible. She does not have a meterless, like just a drive gauge version, invincible reversal. Her level 1, like other level 1s, is strike and throw invulnerable, and her level 2 is full invincible, so she has options at least, right? It's not like a DJ, where a DJ doesn't have an invincible level 1. So she has those options as supers, but when it just comes to like wake up Shoryuken, wake up Dragon Punch, wake up reversal, she doesn't got it. It has to be metered, and that's definitely a negative in this game especially, because you want your meter for, you know, the big home run combos at a minimum. Now, at least though, if you do wake up at level 1, it's fairly decent startup. It's not slow. So you do it and then you'll get the buff on top of that. So that's a nice bonus, but you know, just not having a regular EX reversal, definitely a negative. So that said here, before we get to some of the grander things about Viper, let's talk her moveset. Now, for special moves, our first move to talk about is Thunder Dash. And for the rest of this video, I'm going to call it Thunder Knuckle, FYI, because that's what it's called in Street Fighter 4. Anyways, so it's just cortical back punch. The thing that's different about this, well, it's multi-layered. Each punch is a different move effectively. Our light punch is lower. It's not an actual low, but the fact that she's going lower to the ground means she can fairly easily go under fireballs, at least traditional fireballs. And while it's not frame 1 or nothing, it's almost at the very beginning of the startup. It can go under fireballs as well. So it's something to keep in mind if you know someone's very prone to toss fireballs as neutral. As far as like the neutral aspect of this goes, this has the most range of all 3 buttons as well. Medium, not as much range, more of like a stock combo ender, as when you use it in a combo, it'll leave you up +1 and right beside the enemy in throw range, which is always handy. And more importantly, at least for combos, is it will combo off a lot of buttons that the light version will not combo from, as it has faster startup. That's kind of the main use, is more stock combo stuff. And of course, you know, the range, right? Because heavy is the fastest of all of them, but it has the worst range. Heavy, main use besides combos, is it is keyed to be anti-air invincible. So if people jump at you, no matter. This is your Shoryuken, if you will. You cannot be hit by jump attacks. You're invincible to jump attacks. Now, of course, you're not invincible to getting kicked in the stomach, only jumps, but it's good and it's fairly quick for what it is. So it's very solid at that, on top of just being combo fodder. And on that note, unlike Street Fighter 4, all 3 of these have a follow-up. Hit forward in 2 punches, and you'll do an additional follow-up punch for the cost of a drive gauge. All 3 of these attacks are slightly different, and they all provide different knockdowns as well. But the thing is, even though, hey, you know, a drive gauge ain't cheap, right? And realistically, especially at the end of a long combo, this isn't going to do much damage at all, but these knockdowns are really good. We're going to cover it later in the knockdown section of the video, but you get a lot of like easy bake pressure off these knockdowns. It's actually one of the most attractive aspects of the character, is for the cost of 1 drive gauge, you'll pretty easily control the enemy's wake up. And of course, there's the enhanced version. Now, admittedly, the enhanced version, at least as of the time of me making this video, I haven't found that much overall use for it. Like, it's useful in the way any EX is useful in that it can go into like a level 2 super, I suppose, but it's even slower startup than the light version of Thunder Knuckle. So it will not combo from, you know, a lot of normals like stand light kick that you'd want to use to get, you know, the Thunder Knuckle in on a grounded foe. Your meter, your drive gauge is probably better spent elsewhere, but as far as like those follow-ups go, for the one drive gauge, that's amazing and one of the selling points of the character. Thunder Knuckle, you're going to be using it a lot. Another attractive part of Thunder Knuckle is they got feint, so you don't have to commit to the startup. If you hit kick right after or right as it's starting up, you'll instead feint the move. Like, you will not do the actual animation, which is fantastic on multiple levels. One, it's great against modern players, because they can use the startup of this, you know, they'll do like their modern reaction to level 3 super or something like that, and you can bait it out. That's really nice. Another fantastic thing about these is it changes frame advantage on hit and on block. Like crouch heavy punch, right? +2 on hit. Great. Fantastic. We do heavy knuckle and then do the feint version of heavy knuckle. Instead of +2, it's now +6. And if it's +6, that goes into crouch medium punch, which means that's an actual combo. Like normally, unless it's a punch counter, that wouldn't be a combo. In and of itself, that's a combo, right? So that leads to some of our trickier stuff as you're creating new combo routes through the Thunder Knuckle feints, besides just using Thunder Knuckle in and of itself in the combo. So to say the least, it's an integral part of her moveset. Next up, let's talk another critical move for Viper, and that is Burning Kick. So critical forward and kick, no, not critical back like it was in Street Fighter 4, and yes, it's still throwing me off. But anyways, she'll jump up and, well, as advertised, hit you with a burning kick. So the thing about this, each button press has a different arc to it on the ground. And keep in mind, even point blank, all these are safe on block. The light, well, it doesn't go very far. And the medium goes a little medium, and the heavy, well, it goes the furthest. Fair enough. And this is very much air okay. And the thing about this, if you neutral jump, whatever. But if you forward jump, the light will stay in place. Medium, well, it'll go a little medium. And the heavy, it'll go very far. And this is really important for a lot of her gimmicks, like instant cross-ups, because I can instant cross-up jumping, super jump cancel, heavy kick, and don't worry, we'll cover that stuff in its own section, right? And hey, you got to block the other side right away. But that all depends on the button press, right? Because light kick stays in place. So if you just react to me jumping up and you try to block other way right away, like that, you'll get it. This, haha, gotcha, right? Like, you gotta react, and you gotta react quick. Which, once again, parry. Like, don't try to guess which side, just parry. Another very important thing about burn kick, besides just, you know, hey, it's a move, it's good for gimmicks, you're gonna use it in combos, like, it's just super key no matter how you look at it, right? But the fact it's airborne. So if it's airborne, twofold. One, stuff like lows, hey, it goes clear over it. Another thing is, if you're airborne, you can't be thrown. Like, what's the basic building block of Street Fighter? Gas, strike, throw. Like, okay, you block the move, I have very slight advantage. Now, am I going to throw you or not, right? Like, that's super core to Street Fighter 6 in general. And then, you know, the counterplay to that is, well, I'll delay tech. I'll delay hitting throw, right? So if you try to hit me right away, nothing comes out. And if you try to throw me, then I tech the throw. Then the counterplay to that is the shimmy. Then the counterplay to that is, well, then I'll hit you low while you shimmy. And then she has the counterplay to the counterplay, which is, well, you can't hit me low. And also, if you delay tech, this also wins. Like here, right? Like block. Okay, you kept blocking. Or now if I went for the throw, you tech the throw. But if I go for burn kick right away, oh, okay. So it just gives you another layer on mix-up stuff, right? And of course, like Thunder Knuckle, hey, we got that follow-up, which is really good. Now, that punch follow-up we have, just like Thunder Knuckle, that's not safe on block, but she has a second follow-up on top of that. So instead of forward 2 punches, forward 2 kicks, she'll do a big old dive kick, and this bad boy is advantage on block. So yes, we mentioned here on block it's safe, but you know, it's -2. It's not ideal. But what if it was still your turn? And this introduces its own games, right? Because admittedly, there's a gap there. There's a gap there. So if you go for this and there's the gap, they could do like an invincible Shoryuken kind of move, or they could parry. Fair, right? But if you don't commit, then Shoryuken, you're only -2, you block it, you win. And if they parry right afterwards, well then, get chucked. And if they do nothing, then you can just say, hey, it's still my turn. And also, because I just want to mention this, because it's not really spelled out anywhere, right? Like, if you hit, you can do the punch follow-up, get the good knockdown, but the kick follow-up doesn't connect normally on hit. But as a punish counter, the knockdown on regular grounded only burn kick changes. And on punish counter, that means it will now combo into the kick, which gives a longer knockdown and does more damage. And of course, you can enhance burn kick for some drive gauge, right? So the grounded version, the big thing about it is it just has very fast startup. So for certain combos, this is kind of a go-to, and being a EX move, it's cancelable into your level 2 or level 3 supers, which is going to be generally a way you're going to want to end some combos. And the air enhanced version, it does a bit more damage, not a lot more damage, just a little bit. The big thing, unlike say the regular ones, is it's always going to be advantage on block. Like, even if you do like the low to the ground super jump cancel, then it's extra advantage on block, right? So you're not paying for extra damage, you're paying for the extra safety if it gets blocked, basically. Because like gimmick cross up, super jump cancel, heavy burn kick, if they block, you're negative, you lost your turn. Granted, that's very expensive on the meter, 3 bars, because super jump cancel, but even if they block, it's still your turn, right? So you're kind of winning no matter what. So just a little food for thought. But yeah, burn kick, combos, pressure, strike, throw, gimmicks. Like, no matter how you look at it, it's one of our most critical moves. Next up for special moves, we have the Seismic Hammer, otherwise known as Seismo. This is the ground pound, and this is very, very, very good because while in essence and aspect, like it's a projectile, but it's not a traditional one. It doesn't travel the screen. You hit the button, she does the move, and it just happens where you press the button. So this is aimable. So light, medium, and heavy all reach different ranges. And so basically, judge roughly the range between you and the enemy, right? Light is very close. Medium, well, it's a little medium. And heavy is pretty far away. And then you just hit the enemy. So no travel time. It's instant. A Hadouken has to go all the way across the screen. This, nope, it just hits. And as a hit, it is a low. So they have to be crouch blocking. A lot of the usual back and forth in Street Fighter, this negates it because they have to sit in place crouch blocking. That's actually huge. The fact this exists controls the enemy's movement in and of itself because either they gotta crouch block in anticipation. While it's not exactly fast at 24 frames, like, let's not pretend people are reacting to this every single time. Like, that's unimaginable, right? So they got to live with the fear that you just might randomly do this, and either that means they sit in place more or they jump more. And either way works out for you because she's got very easy bake anti-air. Keep that in mind. Say you come to this godlike player who can react to it every single time and parry or block, like whatever, right? Then, hey, you can just feint it. You don't have to commit to the move, which works out on a lot of levels. Like say, you're up against a character who plays a very reaction-heavy playstyle, right? And JP, if he has his level 3 on deck, he can just kind of reaction check you if you do anything, pretty much anywhere on the screen, right? And, like say you're doing one Seismo too many. You can see that startup? Oh, you did the startup? Gotcha, right? Fair enough. And then same idea, like I'm just going to buffer waiting for the move and like, haha, gotcha, you're dead. Oh wait, I'm dead. I'm dead, right? Because you feinted it, and even with my reaction check move, I reacted. Because I react to, that big shiny point that's meant to entice you. Your eyeballs are meant to see that if you can react in time, right? And that's what you're reacting to, not so much the part where she goes down. And so if you are good enough to react, then that exists to bait your reaction and basically crush you. So it's just good on a lot of levels. It's a little negative on block, to be fair. It's the same negative, like no matter where it hits on screen, it's always going to be -10. And from like here, that doesn't matter at all, like to be real. But if you're doing it up close, depending on the character, that can matter. So it's another reason, if there's a block coming, just maybe don't commit all the way. Or at the very least, trying to make it spaced out as well, that like no one with like a 10 frame move can really hit you regardless. And of course, there's an enhanced version. It's safer on block. I won't call it safe. It's safe from further away, point blank, -8. You're still gonna get your head kicked in. The big attraction of the EX version is the regular ones are 24 frame startups. The enhanced version is 19, so it's a lot faster. And the big deal is this. Like if you're trying to combo into a Seismo, usually you want to do like crouch heavy punch. That naturally combos. Say if you're doing crouch medium punch, which a lot of combos use crouch medium punch. If you're using crouch medium punch, that don't combo. But the enhanced version does. So that's the thing. You're going to get some pretty okay combos off of it. Like even something as basic as this. Okay, we just got 3K off of that. Not bad, not bad at all. I think you would agree. And again, this is an enhanced move. So for combo structure, if you're doing combos that like use drive rush, right? Drive rush, there's a waiting period before your meter can regenerate. Enhanced moves, no such thing. You can just start gaining meter right away, right? Every successive hit gains you some meter. So even though you're spending meter, you're going to get that back as you're going to keep hitting them after the fact. Versus that drive rush, you ain't getting any meter till the drive rush combo is over. So EXs are better than drive rushes and combos in that way. So good for zone control. She can control where you're walking anywhere on screen just about. And the medium is extra good because the medium controls like from here to like about here. So that controls like 60% of the screen. It's usually going to be the go-to, right? So good for screen control, zoning, good for baiting people out, good for combos, especially the enhanced version, which is, I'm sure, lenient on the combos, but good for combos regardless, because it'll still go off like crouch heavy punch, right? And then you super jump cancel that, because you can super jump cancel anything. And speaking of super jump cancel, you've probably seen this at some point. This is the cool thing Viper can do, right? Because it's super jump cancelable, and you can cancel anything from a super jump cancel into anything else. So Seismo can go into Seismo, can go into Seismo, it can go into itself ad infinitum till you run out of drive gauge, basically, from the super jump cancels. So in that situation, -10 on block? Nah, I'm taking my punish, right? If you do it a little too close. You know, depending on the buttons, who says you're getting a punish? Because I can just keep going right afterwards. It just helps her maintain that kind of aura of trickiness, because you're not locked in, right? And as far as doing all this stuff, don't worry, it'll be in its own section for the super jump cancels. But Seismo, very versatile move. And the last of our main special moves is, well, the Street Fighter 4 focused attack. They just made it its own special move. She's meant to be basically a Street Fighter 4 throwback, what with how everything works, and enter Focus Force, which works pretty much almost exactly like a Street Fighter 4 focus attack. So you can do it, you attack afterwards, you can hold it, and then if it hits as the big hold combo, it crumples you, and you can hold it and also dash cancel out of it. So that's pretty okay all around. They made it not as good as Street Fighter 4 though. Street Fighter 4, that armor starts up basically right away. Here, for the regular version, it's a 6 frame startup. So you don't get that armor right away. It's not wake up, right? This is not going to be your invincible shuriken. Like, you can't do it that way. The enhanced version starts up faster. The armor's on frame 3. So at minimum, you can use this to blow up like frame traps. Whereas, you know, regular buttons wouldn't work. So that is an aspect of defense that helps her out a bit. Because, you know, there's a lot of frame traps where you only got like a couple frames to work with. This will give you those couple frames. So that can help her defend herself for sure. But it's not frame 1. And at minimum, as a special move, just if you do the move and do the hit, right? It is 1,000 damage. So if you just need every pixel of damage, like, it actually is more damaging than like a lot of the normal follow-ups here. Like, that'd be 1,500 for damage. That's 1,600, right? It does about 100 more damage than the other special moves, like burn kick as well, 900. Once again, this is 1,000. So if you just need every point of damage for a combo, this does do just a little bit more damage than the other specials as well. But yeah, in situations like here, like, you know, you're getting frame trapped, like, you maybe at best could trade, but you're not going to win, or maybe just might lose outright, right? This gives you an option, because the second it armors any hit, immediately goes live. So basically the hit's effectively guaranteed. So definitely not the best defensive option in the game, but it's the one she's got. Now let's talk Viper's super moves. Overall, it's not too complex. Most complex would be the level 1. Level 1 super, 8-frame startup, it's pretty fast for what it is. Biggest thing is it just gives you the buff. So it is strike and throw invincible, so it's actually probably her main form of defense, but the buff. So the buff, you can see her bar is replaced by a little buff bar. It lasts for, I didn't math it out, but like 7-8 seconds is, a decent amount of time, right? And while it's live, everything that costs extra doesn't, right? So super jumps don't cost you a drive gauge anymore. Follow-ups to Thunder Knuckles or burn kicks are now completely free. So basically what this means is your pressure goes through the roof. Like those Seismic cancel stuff we showed earlier, that's all free to do now. That don't cost you a dime. Say you manage to land a hit and you're going for like whatever combo, right? Those extra 2 follow-ups I did there, super jump and the follow-up with the burn kick, should have cost me 2 drive gauges. That was completely free. So basically, when you got it live, like, don't be afraid to unwind a little bit, right? Like, go a little crazy with it. Because you ain't paying a dime for the more advanced aspects of the character. At minimum, this is where you get gimmicky, right? Because every like instant cross-up burn kick is now completely free to do. So I'll just get a little crazy. Just get a little crazy. Her level 2, it's a level 2. She strikes a cool pose, does some cool things. Does level 2's worth of damage. It's invincible startup like most level 2's. That's about it. This is full invincible, unlike the level 1, which is strike throw invincible. So some setups that have like a meaty projectile, this will beat them, whereas the level 1 would lose. But it's basically just a heavier hitting invincible reversal. There's really not much else to say about it. It's pretty stock. It's a decent defensive option on a character that doesn't have decent defense, basically. And the level 3, much the same. It's your big cinematic level 3. Looks cool. You know, brings you up, slams you down. Nice. Does a lot of damage. Nice. Low health critical art version. Slightly different animation. Does even more damage. And as always, all level 3s, they scale to a minimum of 50% no matter how long the combo is. So you're always going to get good damage. But compared to some of the rest of their cast, her super game's not that complex. Like, if you need damage, do a level 2 or 3 to get damage. You need defense, use level 1 or 2. And level 1 is probably preferable because they'll give you the buff, and it'll turn your defensive move, as long as it didn't get blocked, into giving you a little extra offensive spice after the fact as well. But yeah, the supers, not too complex. And as far as the moveset goes, last thing to talk about is just the command normals. So, pretty easy. Like, hey, forward medium punch, stock overhead. You know, 22 frames, good enough to catch people sleeping. This is Street Fighter 6, so even if she doesn't do a lot of Street Fighter 6, she can still drive rush overhead, and that's +6. So she'll get some combos off of it. And given that, you know, Viper is Viper, right? She can probably do a little bit better than most of the cast can off a drive rush overhead. At the cost, she's going to spend a lot more meter than everyone else. Technically, super jump's a command normal, but we'll talk about it in its own section. And there's also forward heavy kick. So this is the double kick. So it's decently fast for what it is, 11 frames. Like, it hits ever so slightly further away than crouch heavy punch does. So, you know, a little slower, but a little longer range, right? And the thing about it is this. It's +4 by itself. So at max range, unfortunately, you're not getting much. But if you're a little deeper in, it's a combo starter in and of itself. You don't need counter hit, you don't need punish counter, you don't need nothing. And if you're a little deeper in, well, it's only -2 on block, right? So it's perfectly safe. So you can look at it kind of like if you're roughly around here, if you block, maybe you lose your turn, but if you get the hit, you get a small combo. And if you're choosing to use it as like a drive rush button, it's not a bad drive rush button. It becomes plus on block and becomes +8 on hit. And it leaves you, thanks to drive rush momentum, basically right beside the enemy when you do it. So you can do the stand medium punch and the crouch medium punch combo, which in and of itself, not a bad little chunk of change. And once again, Viper being Viper, you want to invest, you know, costs you some gauge maybe, but she can definitely keep upscaling it very easily. Okay, so we talked a lot of the kind of like basics now. Let's get into the hard stuff. I'm talking cancels. We'll start with feint stuff first, and we'll then move on to super jump cancels because they both need their own discussions. A lot of y'all, if you're getting tripped up by Viper at all, it's because of one of these two, if not both, to be frank. So start here with feints. So Seismic Hammer and Thunder Knuckle both can be feinted. To be real, there's only one feint that matters outside of the basic concept of feinting. Like feinting to trick the enemy, they all have their values, right? That's great. But feinting in terms of pressure and combos, the one that matters is Heavy Knuckle Feint. That is the one that gives you the world. That turns Crouch Heavy Punch from +2 on hit to +6 on hit. That leads into combos. That turns Heavy Punch from -3 on block to 0 on block with the help of a super jump cancel, which we'll talk about later. It's the one that gives you silly drive rush combos. Like, it's the magic maker, right? So here's what we need to know. So feints. You just hit kick after you do the move. Sure, well, that's easy. Problem with Heavy Knuckle is Heavy Knuckle is the fastest startup of all of them by a lot. If you just do like regular timing, like depending on what you're trying to do, like you could actually be too slow, right? Like that sucks. Now, here's trick number 1. If you hold kick at any point and then do the move, it'll automatically cancel the move frame 1. Like it cannot possibly come out. So if you're doing whatever combo, you're doing whatever setup, and if you happen to be holding kick already, like say we do Crouch Heavy Punch here, right? So if I do Crouch Heavy Punch, hold kick, and then go into Heavy Knuckle, it'll just automatically cancel the move. So at any point, if you are already holding kick, any move will automatically be feinted frame 1. Doesn't matter what it is, that's just the way it works. However, admittedly, it can be cumbersome to like do a move, then hit kick, then do the move, right? That requires some fast fingers. And we don't all got the fastest fingers. Lord knows I don't, now I'm getting older. But you don't have to be pre-holding kick. You can do punch and kick at the same time, and it's effectively the same difference. So here, I did my Heavy Knuckle, but I hit medium kick at the same time, and it just canceled it frame 1. Why medium kick though? Because if I do the two heavies at the same time, the game, well, and rightly so, would read that as drive impact. So that just doesn't work. Also, instead of heavy, I can do light. It doesn't matter which one's which, honestly, right? I just use medium because for my fingers, that's closer. So if you're doing your move and you hit punch kick at the same time, frame 1 cancels out. Here's the problem with that, though. Comes with buffering moves. Like if I do Crouch Heavy Punch into Thunder Knuckle, I'm going to enter Thunder Knuckle as fast as possible. Why wouldn't I, right? That's kind of Street Fighter 101. That's why. You can look at my inputs. I hit punch and kick at the exact same frame, and it gave me the knuckle. What happened there? Because I buffered the move, and by the time the buffer resolved, my hand was off kick, and all it reads then is you did Thunder Knuckle and you lose the move. So if you're trying to do something like this, it can make it very difficult. But then again, now we roll back our understanding. Once again, if you hold kick, it always feints, right? So when you're doing punch and kick at the same time, hold it for just a little bit. Not forever, but then if you're buffering the move, you holding punch and kick stays in the buffer and it reads the kick right away. And it's like, oh, now once the buffer move comes, to the head of the line in terms of priority, now because you're holding it just a little bit, it'll keep the kick in mind and then cancel it into the feint frame 1. So for combos where you need to do multiple heavy Thunder Knuckle cancels back to back to back to back, that actually makes your life a lot easier. For a lot of the more advanced stuff that has weird cancel windows, like say a standing heavy punch, right? Because you can, with super jump cancel that into a heavy knuckle into a feint, but the window is a little less generous. But as long as you hold the buttons on the first possible frame, it allows it, instead of just doing like a super jump or randomly giving you knuckle despite hitting the correct buttons, right? Just hold it just a little bit, and then frame 1, it'll be like, oh, I need to do the canceled version right away. Once again, for other Thunder Knuckles, like the combo, like it doesn't matter, because Heavy Knuckle is the fastest feint. That's the whole reason we're doing it, for combos, for pressure, for block string, whatever it is, it's always heavy, so this is why we need this. So again, now, just to reiterate, yes, you can hit kick right after the fact. If you got fast hands, great. But in situations where you're buffering, That ain't going to help you much. You can pre-hold kick, which will absolutely work. It's just a little awkward. Although, if it's not awkward for you, this is the most reliable way. Or hit punch and kick at the same time, be it either light kick or medium kick. Both are perfectly valid, whichever one's more comfortable for you, as long as you're doing with heavy punch. And then when you're doing whatever you're doing, just make sure to hold that heavy punch in one of those two kicks just a little bit longer than you normally otherwise would. And then it'll always automatically cancel into the feint as fast as possible. This hold method will make what are some otherwise very difficult combos much, much, much more manageable to do. So once again here, just hold it ever so slightly longer than you normally would, because normally Street Fighter, you want to take your fingers off the button right away. Here, fight that instinct, but it helps out a lot. And when it comes specifically for feint cancels and combos, pressure, whatever, that's generally the most important things to know. Now let's move on to super jump cancels, which can be even harder. Now, super jump cancels. Take everything about feints and it's like even more important, right? So super jump cancels on its face is easy. Super jump is down up. Simple as that, right? And just about everything you can do is super jump cancelable. Like off the top of my head, the only things that's not, sweep isn't, forward heavy kick isn't, and thunder knuckle isn't. Pretty much everything else, including, other special moves, is super jump cancelable. And super jumps let you turn basically anything into anything. You hit a button, you hit down and up, you super jump, and then you can cancel the startup and the super jump into just about anything else. Well, as long as it's a special move, but we can get around that, because then you can cancel a super jump into a thunder knuckle, that's a feint, and then all of a sudden you're standing again, and then you can just go like stand heavy punch into crouch medium punch, and that just works because we just super jump canceled the move into a feint into normal. Okay, so now that said, right? Once again, down up. That's all super jump is. And to super jump cancel, all you gotta do is do whatever you're doing and hit down up, right? That's actually the secret to all of this. Is when you super jump cancel, all it cares about is there a down and is there an up? And it doesn't care what down it is. It can be down, back, down, or down, forward. And the up, it also doesn't care what it is. It can be up, up, forward, up, back. Just some kind of down, some kind of up. And now, let me show you how this works in our favor. All right, at some point in the video, I've probably done this, right? And this looks cool and impressive, and it looks hard. Trust me, it's dirt easy in this game. Why is it dirt easy? Because we're doing Seismic Hammer, which is dragon punch motion. So forward, down, down, forward, right? And forward, down, down, forward, and button, that has down in it. So it has one of our two requirements, a down and an up. So if we do this move and we're canceling it into other Seismic Hammers, and I'll just turn on the extra layer of inputs just so I can see better, right? So we have a down, we need an up. So if we just do a forward, down, down, forward punch, that's one layer. We have a down in it already. So how about this? Forward, down, down, forward, up, forward punch. And after our first Seismo, that's exactly what we did. And that's exactly how this works. Our move has the down we already need, and all we're doing is adding an up forward, and then we get it. All you basically have to do for like 90% of this is just add an up input to whatever you're doing normally, and then it works. So again here, Seismo. The first one here, dragon punch motion, and then every successive one is going to be forward, down, down, forward, then to up, forward. And I'm being a little sloppy here, but you get the idea, right? Like, you can just roll it off your own D-pad. If you're on levelless, you can skip a couple of steps, I guess. But like, you just add an up input. Once again now, let's use Thunder Knuckle. Thunder Knuckle is just cortical back punch, right? That's all it is. So let's take a move that's not normally special cancelable, like say, crouch medium kick, right? Crouch medium kick is not special cancelable in any way. But naturally, just like everything else, we can super jump cancel it. And so, Thunder Knuckle, all I'm going to do is I'm going to do, down to back, a cortical motion, and then I'm just going to add up back to it. So again here, Thunder Knuckle, just cortical back, right? So down, down, back, back, button. And once again, a super jump only cares that there's a down and there's an up. That's it, that's all. So if I do crouch medium kick, and then down, down, back, back, up, back, punch, it's going to give me a super jump cancel, and then immediately cancel that into the Thunder Knuckle. So here we go, and boom, that's it. All it cares about is I got to a down and an up at some point, and the rest of the move from there is gravy. It don't care about anything else other than there was a down and an up. So just sneak that up in before any other button press. Again, now it has to go burn kick, the other special move, right? So burn kick, this is the one that requires a bit more nuance, because now taking what we learned, burn kick is just quarter circle forward and kick, right? So you can do quarter circle forward, add an up, and then it becomes a super jump canceled version of burn kick. And normally, super jump burn kick is cool because, you know, it gives you the weird angle stuff and all that, right? And we'll talk about that in its own section. I'm sure you've seen now plenty of combos where, like, you take a seismic hammer, we super jump cancel that into a burn kick, and then do some sort of cool combo afterwards. There's one problem here, though. Because unlike Seismic Hammer and Thunder Knuckle, there is ground versions of burn kick and air versions of burn kick, and they're different moves. So if you do Seismo into burn kick right away, it'll give you it, sure, but it'll give you it the grounded version, not the air version. And the grounded version doesn't give you combos after the fact. Like, here we go. Sure, big whiff. Versus, got my hit. What's the difference? So, for this one, it's still the same motion. Just do the motion, add an up in there, you're good to go. But you just have to ever so slightly delay the button press. So, enough time for the super jump to cancel the move, but not be grounded anymore like all the other things that we've showed you so far. Like, that's the biggest difference. You just actually have to be in the air just a little bit. Now, you can manually delay it, right? Like, in the time since Viper's come out, I've gotten pretty good at manually delaying it. And for stuff like TK burn kick, you have to manually delay it anyways. There's a couple tricks you can do. They don't actually make it any easier per se. They just help you delay it. I've seen some people, they'll do it and then hold forward afterwards, then hit kick. Just for timing, because it slows you down a little bit. Or conversely, do the super jump and then do another quarter circle forward. So you're definitely in the air and you definitely get the air version of burn kick. In fact, in a lot of ways, it's actually better because, like, unlike instant air across a burn kick, right? The combo version, you delaying the kick is to your benefit. Like, say we're like kind of like max range, medium seismo distance, right? If I do the lowest to the ground possible heavy burn kick, great, but there's no chance I'm getting any follow-up, right? Because might be low to the ground, sure, but I'm too far away. But if I wait just a little bit here, once again here, I'll do my super jump cancel, then I'll hit another quarter circle forward, and then hit the kick button. So here we go, and look at that, I got it, right? That would be impossible if I actually did it as good as possible. Like, if I did this as fast as possible, I'd lose the combo opportunity there. So doing tricks to help slow you down actually isn't a bad thing, right? Because it doesn't always benefit you to be as fast as possible. But basically, when you super jump cancel, once again here for burn kicks, just make sure you're off the ground a little bit. Like, take it nice and slow. There is legitimately, on stuff like Seismic Hammer into burn kick into combo follow-up, there is actually no rush. Kind of later the better, as long as it's not too late. Now here comes to me, like, once you understand these rules, I think this is mostly going to be easy for you. There is one weird outsider, and that's stand heavy kick. Stand heavy kick, one of the main uses for stand heavy kick, and combos anyways, is you want to, super jump cancel like anything else, and you want the grounded EX burn kick. Because in a lot of combos, go to level 2 or 3 afterwards because it's an EX, and then you get a lot of damage. That's great. You want damage. But the cancel window on stand heavy kick in particular, like literally everything else, is really weird. Like, the super jump cancel timing for basically everything else you do doesn't work here. Like, here we want the grounded version, and like if I use the same timing that I would off like Seismo, I legit will just super jump. I won't even get like that, or I might get a kick. I certainly won't get the burn kick I want, let alone the grounded one. So for this, you just kind of have to delay a lot longer. on the button press and you think you have to. I've already seen some tricks, like some people say like do a half circle instead of like the quarter circle forward, then up forward. And like if it works for you, great. One I've figured out, and it's not perfect, but like just do this, and then because you're doing combo anyways, you can just go like metronome timing, right? Do that, and then immediately hit down, up, and then hit quarter circle forward for the burn kick. And for me, anyways, that seems to work. Again, specifically on stand heavy kick, it's about just slowing yourself down compared to the timing for how everything else works. It's a tricky one. So you can do a half circle, you can hit down, up, and then go for like instant burn kick right away. There's ways you can do it. Whatever works for you. It's just stand heavy kick is, to me, the hardest. And if you're worried about doing combos where like you want stand heavy kick, but you're scared you're going to drop it, like honestly, I'm going to default back to Fighting Game 101 here. Just don't do it. Like, just go right into the X burn kick. You lose a couple hundred points of damage. Better do a combo you can do 100% of the time than do a combo you can only do 80% of the time, right? I'll gladly lose a little bit of damage if I know it's going to be consistent. Everything about super jump cancels, once you understand the rules, I think is consistent, except for this one button, which is just weird. Other than that, though, that's pretty much everything you need to know. Now, let's talk notable normals. Now, Viper, to be frank, to be honest, is not like best in class and just pressing buttons. But she's got some stuff, and I do think her counter poking or whip punishing game is actually very good. But let's start with just some of the obvious stuff. Stand medium punch, like we have to talk about it, right? 8 frame startup, and it's just a good bully button. One, it's naturally just by itself, no counter hit needed, +6. So it just naturally combos in a crouch medium punch, and from there you can do like, you know, whatever combos. It gives you good damage. And what helps enforce this is it's plus on block. It's +1. So specifically, stand medium punch, crouch medium punch is a little bit of a gap in that if you specifically only go for this, then they can beat you with a jab, as you can see here, right? But it's not like you have to do just only that. Like, hey, do your own 4-framer, you win every time. That's the essence of being plus. And what helps for her is stand light kick naturally also combos from crouch. So like, hey, oh, you do this? Cool, I win. And best part, this ain't no counter hit combo. That's a natural combo, right? So if you're worried about people pressing buttons, like, you got a very easy out. So just a good workhorse, also off a drive rush. It's +10. So at minimum, it'll go into crouch heavy punch, which of course, well, then feint cancel, then go into crouch medium punch, right? So the combo ability there, the pressures, it's just a good workhorse button. And hey, speaking of crouch heavy punch, so 9 frames, pretty okay range, not like best in class or nothing, but considering it goes into heavy feint, and heavy feint goes into crouch medium punch, it just sort of works out. Now, noted, this is -1 on block, but -1 on block, like, that's not really that big of a deal, especially because at the ranges you want to use it at, with the pushback -1, it's hardly any kind of death sentence, right? Like, not much is real at that point. So, it's honestly just a good little fishing tool. Just see how it goes. Or, conversely, you just kind of go for the home run swing, like, you just go right into Seismo, because it does naturally combo into Seismo. Now, of course, that carries, you know, an inherent element of risk depending on how close you are, but it's not something to discount out of pocket. And its cousin, further range here, stand heavy punch. So stand heavy punch has more range than crouch heavy punch, although it's not cancelable in anything except for super jump, which of course actually means it's cancelable into everything, basically. And if you super jump cancel feint it, then that's 0 on block, so it's not even negative, right? So you can actually just sort of bully with it. And just like before, +6, right? So naturally we'll go into crouch medium punch, just like this guy will, but the fact that stand heavy punch has a good deal more range to it. That said, this counts for both crouch heavy punch and stand heavy punch. You can absolutely outrange yourself on this. Like, you can get the hit, but at max range, neither will actually connect. So in situations where that's an issue, try stand light kick. It's not perfect, but in ranges where crouch medium punch will whiff, stand light kick won't. But in terms of the main, you know, back and forth and neutral, heavy punch has got the range and is effectively special cancelable as long as you can do the techniques behind it. That's kind of your longest range button. Also, not a bad drive rush button as well. because it does keep the momentum for the most part, so you can drive rush with it from pretty far away. And if it connects on drive rush, then if you feint cancel that afterwards, then you're plus 10, which will also naturally go into crouch heavy punch. So then something like that becomes possible. And we're at 2,000 damage before we even got to a special cancel, right? So that's not bad. To me, though, some standouts are stand medium kick and stand heavy kick, because this is her whiff punish buttons, and just due to the nature of how super jump cancels work, her whiff punish game is fantastic. Like, just wait for something to whiff. Medium kick, it's fast, by the way. Long range, like, it's not even bad as a poke in and of itself with 8-frame startup. But 8-frame startup and long reach, right, just makes for an amazing whiff punisher. And all you got to do, every time you toss it out, you're trying to whiff punish something, just buffer in Seismic Hammer with the up forward to super jump cancel it. Combo time, really that easy. Very respectable damage. You'll get the good knockdown, good pressure afterwards. Like, granted, it takes a little bit of drive gauge, but this is why you're playing the character. And say, for like whatever reason you whiff, you don't get it, then it's not special cancelable. So nothing comes out. Like, it's fairly zero risk to do, right? Like, either you get the whiff punish or you don't. And for the most part, like, once again, it's fantastic. Stand heavy kick's mostly the same thing, just you're introducing an element of risk to it with a greater reward. So it's slower and it doesn't have the same range. Make no mistake about it. Stand medium kick is a better button in terms of success rate, but the output of this is a lot higher. So 2 frames slower, but keep in mind it's a punish counter button, right? You'll get the hit effect of a punish counter, which, you know, in a combo against like the whiff dragon punch or whatever, that's fantastic. But she can get the big combo even from far away, because she can super jump, right? And if you super jump, you can land on their head with jump heavy kick, because it's also a cross up OK button. So either way you land on them, it doesn't matter, you're gonna get the hit. And all you got to do here, just do it and buffer in super jump cancel. Like, you don't even have to do any of the button press, right? So if you get it, it just automatically comes out. And, like, the damage can be pretty okay off of that, right? Like, that's very realistic. That's very reasonable. Basically, take half of someone's life. That's no magical Christmas land scenario. So the damage, the reward's a lot higher, but the move is slower with less range. So there's that risk to it. And to be fair, it's only for whiff punishing far away. Like, if you do it close range, like, you might hit, you might overshoot them. That can be a risk. So it's more of a called shot. But once again, for the called shot, the rewards are a lot higher. Besides that, just to mention jump heavy kick, because we talked about it here, it's a cross up. It's a heavy cross up. Not many heavy cross-ups in Street Fighter in general, especially Street Fighter 6, right? So that's just nice. Like, it just does more damage. Like, you still have medium kick, still crosses up, but for, you know, when we get to the gimmick sections here of like, hey, burn kick one side, burn kick the other side, hope you guess right? Like, that's kind of the go-to. Okay, next section, just quick. People have jumped too much. Street Fighter, people are going to jump like crazy, right? Like, that's how that works. The number one easy out is Heavy Thunder Knuckle. Literally air invulnerable. It's effectively your dragon punch. Use it and abuse it. It's really good. Also, if you are so inclined, you can tack a little mustard on it to do the follow-up and get more damage and get a good knockdown. Excellent. Like, that's 90% of it right there. There's actually a more advanced trick. We'll talk about that in a second, though. The other thing to note is Jump Medium Punch. Jump Medium Punch, just like many other characters, leaves them in a juggle OK state. So if you want to call them out air to air, you can just meet them in the air and do something like an air burn kick. Also, depending on the angles you catch them at, if you're quick enough, you can get something like a level 1 follow-up to make that damage just a little bit more tasty. We also have standing heavy kick. So stand heavy kick, it's basically like button anti-air, right? I won't call it best in class. It's not there. It's there if you're like your brain shut off and you can't do Thunder Knuckle for some reason. Depending on the character, depending on the button, it might be prone to trading. Like something with a very big 45-degree angle, like say Viper's jump medium kick, like that, it'll pretty much always trade with, right? What makes this really an option to begin with is the fact, just like everything else, super jump cancelable. So that means like potential rewards can be a lot higher because I can super jump cancel that into a super move, for example. So basically, like, consider this like the called shot anti-air. Like, it's not invincible. You're taking a little bit of risk, but the potential damage output is going to be very, very, very high. And now we come back to full circle here because I mentioned Thunder Knuckle, right? Thunder Knuckle, as you probably all know, you can feint it. The thing about that is that, wait, what? What happened there? So the feint keeps the upper body, like aerial invulnerability of the base punch. So if you have something super dead to rights, the biggest called shot of them all is to literally have their jump phase through you. And that's not something most people are gonna be prepared for. Like, get a throw right away? Probably. I don't think they're gonna be ready to attack. And depending on the move, you know, you can get a pretty okay reward. Like, hey, Viper, say she's doing burn kick. You know, that's an air move. And if you know it's coming, well, sure, I could Thunder Knuckle it. But if I know it's coming, I can Thunder Knuckle feint through it. It'll just pass right through me. And that has some recovery to it. And then that's a super called shot, right? Because I can get a punish counter jab, which will go into crouch heavy punch into big combos from there. So this is going to be like, know the matchup kind of deal. You are not, don't do this randomly. You're risking your life. You'll have to practice against certain characters and certain moves, but it's a very high level advanced anti-air option you have on the table. That potentially, if you know how it's going to work out, can lead to the most damage of any of these options. Okay, now it's time to talk why we all really came here. The gimmicks. The gimmicks. We're not here to earn wins. We're here to coin flip you into a victory. And burn kick is at the core of a lot of these gimmicks. So let's start with layer 1. Just block them, make them block a jump in. Sure, whatever, right? Like, block the jump in and then immediately light burn kick, same side, or heavy burn kick, instant cross up. Like, if it actually connects, great. Like, it's a combo either way. Like, maybe not as big of a combo as a proper jump in would have gave you, but, well, that's why we're rolling dice. And then, so that's layer 1, make you block the jump in, and then guess left, right. Layer 2 is the jump in didn't happen. It was actually cross up, right? So right before you actually connect, just do heavy burn kick, and then that's the cross up. Didn't look like it was going to be cross up. Looked like it was going to be same side, but then, didn't look like it was going to be a cross up, but then it did, right? So gimmicks. And then, heck, there's super jump cancel low to the ground, right? Were you prepared to block cross up immediately on a ground foe? Probably not. And that's part of the magic. Is at any point, as she's just mogging you down, she can cross you up. Any point where you're remotely close, if they respect you and they're scared they're going to press a button, the button you can press instead is super jump cancel burn kick and cross them up, right? Like, just mix. And it wouldn't be gimmicks without getting extra gimmicky, right? So you can cross them up with burn kick in the middle of your block strings. Anything that is super jump cancelable and then basically become cross up okay. So say you're blocking, right? Oh, okay, better block the block string. This time, okay, better block the block. What? Gimmicks. So you can basically at any point through a variety of means make them guess left, right, just based off of a burn kick. Generally speaking, if it's airborne, it's going to be light burn kick because it doesn't really have any air momentum versus heavy burn kick because that does have momentum. If it's going to be grounded, depending on the angle, like point blank, medium can also cross up. And if it's actually literally point blank, medium is better because that's 0 on block versus the heavy versus -2. So if you're literally point blank, do the medium because then you didn't lose your turn. Otherwise, from like roughly around here, heavy crosses up and the medium version does not. And again, keep in mind here, medium version, 0 on block. In fact, dirty trick here. Like, you know, vertical forward, up forward, burn kick, right? Sure. Watch this. Wait, what? Why is that plus on block? So if you neutral super jump cancel, not forward super jump cancel, it changes something with the timing and it turns the medium burn kick into a plus on block move. Like normally you'd have to do air burn kick, like EX burn kick to get plus on block. And here, nah, you can get it for 1 stamina bar, 1 drive gauge, right? So there's a little fundamentally solid play in the gimmick section. But yeah, so left, right, left, right, left, right all day. The only weakness is naturally parry beats both left and right. So if people are on the ball, you got to take it player by player basis if they're ready to parry, but you know, play around with it, see how it works for you. And to be really real, like, that's super difficult to tell regardless. Like, you're not reacting to the red flash or nothing, right? You're reacting to the burn kick, and the burn kick is 18 frames. So effectively, you are like reacting to something sub 20 frames, and that can be hard. Now for Viper, a little bit of neutral 101, right? What to do about the old Street Fighter back and forth. So some things we already mentioned in the notable normal section, like you're just looking for like raw range, stand heavy punch is about it because it's got the most range, simple enough. And while it's not special cancelable in and of itself, you can super jump cancel, thunder knuck, feint cancel, the super jump cancel, and then you get a return the neutral, which will leave you +6. So if it connects and you're close enough, you get a combo. And if it's for whatever reason blocked, it's perfectly neutral on block. So you didn't lose your turn. You're just as free to hit a button back at the enemy, whatever you want. Of course, neutral is a lot more than just fighting at the max range of your best button, right? So the thing about the neutral is the threat, a lot of it's tailored around medium Seismic. Medium Seismic has incredible effective range. Like it hits from like here to like roughly around here. Like it controls a lot of the screen, right? 24 frames startup. It's a low. And if you believe in it, then you can also get even more damage off of it, right? Like some really respectable damage. It's not something you want to do willy-nilly. You kind of have to commit when you're doing it raw instead of a combo, because you'll just go into the burn kick and that can leave you open. Because at which point, if I see that burn kick coming, I'm going to knock you out of the sky. But if you believe in it, then great, go for it. If not, it's still 700 damage, like off a poke. Like it's not bad. Gives a decent knockdown. Like even at like furthest possible screen, double dash, you're +11, which definitely leaves you in range to threaten, throw, shimmy, like whatever you want to do. The knockdown is extra good, extra advantageous. So it's just really strong overall. Speaking of which, we're going to cover it in the knockdown section, but basically any Thunder Knuckle follow-up is also very good when it comes to knockdowns. Like you're really going to win a lot off knockdowns with Viper. And of course, okay, now we're fighting with some of our longer range buttons. We're out fighting here with size mode. Of course, you can feint size mode to bait jumps, bait reactions, bait whatever you're looking for to counterplay against it. And honestly, raw light Thunder Knuckle is an option. It's not the best option, but it is an option. Like, it's got some range to it. Like, it certainly outclasses stand heavy punch, right? So, like, you can reach in and go. And if you happen to either punish counter or even just stuff a button with a counter hit, like, you can get some pretty real frame advantage, right? Like, this is just counter hit, not even punish counter, right? And from, like, a really realistic, like, the range you want to use it at, right? You can be +5, and that will link into stand light kick. And all of a sudden, like, oh, caught him hitting the button. Hey, we just got 2k damage. Keeping in mind as well, it fairly easily goes underneath most traditional fireballs. So if you're anticipating any kind of fireball pressure, like, that's an easy out. And then there'll be a punish counter on top of that. And then that can lead to even better damage yet, right? So it's just something to keep in mind. It is negative on block when you space it, but it's also negative. It's like, it's not bad. -2 to -3. You're not getting punished. You might have to like play a little defensive, but if the worst thing that happens is you just get blocked, it's really not that bad in the end. And if you can't hit on last active frame, it's super big pushback to -1, then that's basically free. So it does reward good spacing. And speaking of that, I don't recommend this button as much, the medium version, but it has a weird trick to it. So the light version, it just has more, like, it's just better, to be real. But the medium version, so notice Akuma here, right? When he gets hit. So he'll like kind of like lurch forward like he just got hit in the stomach. The hit animation is different if it hits only on the last active frame. Instead of going forward, he goes away on hit. And you can use that hit reaction to notice that it's last active frame, and last active frame is +4 on regular hit, which links jab. And if it hits on the last active frame, you're always in range for a jab. So if you can hit on last active frame, you will always know that will always reach in combo. So again, it's not necessarily the ideal poke Thunder Knuckle, but there's just something about it that gives you a tell if it hits on the last active frame that you can always get a small guaranteed combo. And also if you hit on the last active frame, it's also completely zero on block, which is great. So like there is a reward here. It's difficult. I'm telling you this mostly because it exists, not that I'm trying to sell you on it. Light Knuckle is generally better if you're going to use any of them in neutral, but just so you know. And of course, real neutral is going Scraw into random burn kick, right? Like just because it gives you the range, she can just reach out and get you. Between that being a threat, Seismic's a threat, her control of the screen like out of button range is very good. And of course, once we start getting closer, like if you're point blank, that's when stand medium punch gets really good. Natural combo starter in and of itself, plus on block naturally. Crouch heavy punch, which you'll always want to feint cancel pretty much every single time. If you're a little closer, then you'll get your combos. If you're a little further out, it's debatable. Certain moves might start whiffing. And then at max range, that's when you just go into Seismo if you know you're not going to be able to get a button anyways. Which again, I highly suggest do at max range because it's negative 10 block. But if you force a block from like that far away, negative 10 is not ideal, but it's not death necessarily in and of itself. And if you're on the ball, if it's hit or blocked, right, you can feint it as well. Maybe practice that a bit. It's a little tight, but it's doable. But yeah, neutral for Viper, it's not rocket science. Do buttons, control space. She's really good at controlling the space. Everything she has maybe is a little slower than other comparable characters, but she has generally more options, including the threat of just randomly crossing you up at any given point, which is part of the selling point here. And that's a bit of Viper neutral. Now, in Street Fighter 6, we gotta talk about it. Let's talk the old throw loops. Because we got throw loops. It's dirt easy, multiple ways to do it. Throw loops, you get them in the corner, dash, you're +7. Like that right there, easy enough, right? The only thing to note is because this +7 specifically, if you throw on the first possible frame, you will whiff. So all you do, just don't throw on the first frame. Give it the smallest possible delay. You'll still super meaty throw them, and you can just repeat ad infinitum. It's quite simple. If you do it correct timing, they're not possible to mash out in any way. Bob's your uncle. Like, it's just how it works. That said, because there's an element of manual timing there with the manual delay, that can be unfortunate, but we have another way to throw a loop. Throw, just walk forward. And as soon as you get to the enemy, just hit throw. So just like before, as long as it's timed correctly, it's inescapable. You'll basically throw them like the frame they wake up. There's no buttons they can press unless it's invincible. And for this as well, because you're not necessarily beside the enemy right away, this also makes it easier just to walk out. And thus, part of the throw loop is people trying to escape the throw loop, hacking or whatever, and you just walk out, shimmy, and then bonk. And from there, we talked about earlier in the video, actually in notable normals, but we can just like stand heavy kick as a punish. And that's potentially game over right there, right? We'll talk more about it in the combo section, but like their combo structure for damage is pretty easy, right? And that's kind of, sort of shimmy 101. Like you can use whatever button you want. Doesn't have to be heavy kick. Like whatever works for you. If you think like say crouch heavy punch more effective for you, by all means. On punish counter with feints, it does link into itself, so that's another perfectly viable combo route. Whatever you want to do. But the throw loop itself, dirt easy. Just either dash like delay or just walk forward and go for it. And then shimmy or don't from there. Only other layer, just for throw text in general, is burn kick is another thing you can do. And burn kick, if it hits as a punish counter, gives a different knockdown animation. So it'll always combo into the kick follow-up, which normally it wouldn't on regular hit, so that's something to keep in mind. But throw loop 101, dirt easy. Now to talk combos. So we already have a companion combo guide video live on the channel right now. It'll be linked in the video description at the end of the video. So if you're looking for everything she can do, that's the video you really want to check out. I just want to kind of talk the basics of combos. Like, hey, yeah, like stand medium, crouch medium, thunder. Like, sure, that's the combo, right? Just some things I want to highlight that I feel are important. Stand light kick. Stand light kick naturally goes into medium thunder knuckle. Great. Because stand jab, crouch jab, do not. And crouch light kick, not even special cancelable unless you do gimmicks like super jump canceling it, right? So it's a good workhorse of a button. And luckily for you, it'll naturally combo from crouch like punch. So if you're just looking for like a 3-hit confirm, that's about it, right? Like it's not huge damage, but you can always tack on the follow-up to get more damage out of it. And the follow-up gives you good knockdown. And one of the things I like about that as a 3-hit hit confirm is most 3-hit hit confirms, you got to be touching the enemy to make all 3 hits connect. For this one, you still got to be like a little close, but you don't got to be literally touching them to get all 3 hits for the hit confirm, which I think is very nice. Besides that, once again, this is just the basics, but like crouch heavy punch is a party starter because at minimum naturally goes into Seismo. From Seismo goes into super jump cancel and the burn kick and the follow-ups. Bob's your uncle. Also, if you feint it, +6, naturally go into medium punch. And medium punch, I think, is a workhorse. And this is one of the big things I want to hit with their combo structure. This is Street Fighter 6. So, you know, like, you keep turning green and keep hitting them, keep doing combos, right? She actually gets very little out of drive rush cancels and combos. It's almost always better for her just to do EXs. Mostly because, one, like, you actually do get more damage. Because drive rushes like introduce a heinous amount of combo scaling to your combos, right? And just how the game treats your meter when you drive rush. Once you do a drive rush in the combo at all, you are not gaining any more meter again for your drive gauge until the combo is over. So all those hits, but only now after the hits are done do I get meter. Versus if I do a EX move, and then say I burn even more bar after that by super jump canceling it. Regardless, I do 2 follow-up hits, I get 2 ticks of drive gauge, right? So I'm gaining more meter. So even though the initial cost is expensive, I'm already recouping part of it by doing an actual combo because I don't have that drive gauge penalty. And once again, EX moves are only subject to regular combo scaling, not advanced scaling from drive rushes. So let me give you a scenario here. You know, you block the big uppercut, whatever, in the corner. Time to get your big damage combo. Very common scenario in Street Fighter 6, sure. Say we do a normal Street Fighter 6 kind of punish combo with a little Viper flavor, right? So we'll block this bad boy. We'll do stand heavy kick. And then we'll do something like heavy punch. And we'll cancel that. And then hit. And then just do a bunch of drive rushes into the big super at the end. So, like, this is gonna hurt. You're gonna get some damage in here, right? Like, it's not gonna hurt. But let's look here. So, okay, over 6K, 6,238. That's not bad, right? We don't have critical art for extra damage or whatever. But now, let's just use EXs. Let's use a natural combo routing we're gonna do pretty much anyways. So, same starter, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do medium. And then we're just gonna do EX, burn kick, usual shenanigans. So we didn't even run out of drive gauge here. So we're gaining gauge. And when you look at that, we did more damage. We actually outdid the other thing and by a decent amount. And that's not even optimal because I did the easy route, right? Because I struggled doing the heavy kick first into EX burn kick. So I could have got more damage. So I did just more damage with what is a less complicated combo route. So in Street Fighter 6, yes, admittedly, like lots of characters want to do drive rush, like move, drive rush, do more moves, drive rush, do more moves. Like that's how most characters work. Viper doesn't necessarily benefit in the same way because so much of her damage can come from EXs. It is generally better to make it all come from EXs because in most scenarios, you're going to do more damage anyways because you're not subject to that advanced scaling from just drive rush canceling a move and you'll have more meter to work with. Like in that combo, we did more damage and we didn't burn out. So more damage, more meter efficient. That's about it. Like, that's what you want. Now, you stand heavy kick. That's kind of the go-to punish counter. Like, if you want to, you can use crouch heavy punch as well, because if you feint cancel on a punch counter plus 10, which means, you know, it will go into itself. So, like, whatever works for you, whatever floats your boat. Once again, if you want like every combo permutation, please check the companion combo guide. But that's sort of it. That's one thing I just want to hang home. She's obviously, like, that's part of the reason you're watching this video. She's different than a lot of the rest of the cast. And one of those differences is she actually would truly rather focus on EX moves rather than just doing the Street Fighter 6 and drive rushing non-stop. You have now entered the Oki zone. So let's talk some Oki. Post knockdown pressure. Well, I've talked up a lot of this video. Hey, Viper Thunder Knuckle follow-ups have great follow-ups. All of them do. So, well, let's talk about all of them. So, Light. Light is probably the most difficult to work with mid-screen. It's a great number of frame advantage, like plus 37. But if they tech roll, like, that's a long distance between you two characters. This is one of the ones where it's much better in the corner because you can kind of auto-time it. Say, just doing like, you know, medium in the medium. That way you can combo into Light Thunder Knuckle. And then we'll do the follow-up. There's nowhere to back roll to, so we're just assured we're plus 37. So let's give you an easy one here first. An easy frame kill. So just do this, whatever the combo was before, whiff heavy kick. If you whiff heavy kick, you are plus 4. You're plus 4. Throw's always gonna win. And then we go to throw loops. Or say something like stand medium punch, also always gonna win. It's 2 basic building blocks. I do my frame kill and then I get basic building block I need. Basically, you know, guess strike, guess throw, Street Fighter 101. So that's an easy frame kill, but let's get a little sassier with it, right? A different kind of frame kill. So we're going to do the knockdown and then whiff jab. Another frame kill leaves us at plus 23. She has an overhead. Overhead, 22 frames. So it's going to hit later in the active frames. So do what we're going to do here. Whiff jab, overhead. And now look at that, because it hit later in the active frames. It's now plus 4. So we can link a jab afterwards. It'll be a natural combo starter in and of itself. It's going to be one of them situations. Okay, we just got our hit in. And then we did a different kind of dunk, right? Which we'll talk about in a moment. How about one more frame kill just for posterity? So same deal, just whiff crouch heavy punch. Leave us plus 6. So plus 6 means if we do throw right away, it'll hit later in the active frames. So a true meaty throw, because throws start up in 5 frames normally. And how about one more frame kill just for posterity? This time we're going to do a Seismo feint. Once again, it can't hit. We're just doing it specifically for the timing it gives us. So if we do this here, and then Seismo feint right away, well, look at that. Plus 10. That's a very big number, isn't it? And something like stand medium punch, which is already advantage on block, right? Already advantage on block. Plus 10 means it's going to hit later in the active frames. And because it hits later in the active frames, if we hit with that stand medium punch, we're plus 9. Normally, plus 6, right? That's 3 more frames. No counter hit. Like, if we get a counter hit, better yet, right? But no counter hit needed at all, right? Like, say they're trying to jump out because they're scared of a throw or something. And if that's plus 9 instead of plus 6, that means that no link into crouch heavy punch normally without the need of any fancy combos. And that means that all right there was a natural combo. And from there, we can further combo out. But that gives you a lot more bang for your buck, to say the least. And, okay, same deal. Like, if you get hit, great. We're getting a much more advanced combo. What if they block? Keep in mind, if they block, we're just plus 1 normally. We're now plus 4 on block. That's big. And also, since medium punch leaves us so close on block, it leaves us in natural throw range too, right? So that means if we just smash throw right away, after that setup and they block, there's no button they can do to beat the throw. And then, once again, if we get the throw, it leads to our throw loop, and this keeps this whole corner pressure thing going. And that's off merely this knockdown alone. So let's talk some of the other ones. Okay, so now medium Thunder Knuckle. We just talked about light, right? Medium Thunder Knuckle, the follow-up, is much better suited for mid-screen. Also, unlike the light Thunder Knuckle, you can pretty reliably get this off like light combo starters. So a lot of times mid-screen, this might be the way to go for it. So the advantage itself is plus 18, which isn't as much as the light, admittedly, but it also doesn't knock them like most of the screen away. You can just stay on top of them. Although, unfortunately, not in the way they can just dash afterwards, because their dash is 21 frames. But you can just drive rush after. And drive rush after, like, we're just going to hit crouch medium punch. It's really going to be dirt simple. Because if we do this, drive rush, crouch medium punch right away, it hits later in the active frames. It doesn't hit first frame, so it gives us even more advantage than it would normally give us from a drive rush. Plus 11. Like, I could go into stand heavy kick from there if I want to. We don't need to, but I could. So it's really as simple as this. We're just going to do a knockdown, and then we're going to drive rush, crouch medium punch afterwards. Perfect, right? Plus 11. We'll go for a crouch heavy punch afterwards because it'll easily combo. And from that, well, then we can just do this, right? So let's put it all together. There we go, right? We got a nice little combo. And of course, Viper being Viper with the medium, I can go into Seismo and then just go crazy if I so chose. If I want to burn the extra bar, I don't have to, but the option is on the table if I wanted to. Now, keep in mind too, this move is negative on block. Now, given it's a drive rush, it'd be a little plus, but since it's hitting in the later active frames, it's way more plus. It's plus 4, right? So plus 4, you can kind of enforce your will a bit here. You're pretty close here. You can hit more buttons. You can kind of see what they're going to do, because plus 4 means you're going to win most just mash exchanges at that point. And of course, this is Street Fighter 6. You don't got to hit that button. You can go for a throw. You can go for a low, which will also hit on like the frame they wake up. It's also plus on block. And it's also plus 9, so we'll also go into crouch heavy punch, which could be to your advantage given the recent perfect parry changes. You might find it to your advantage to, you know, mix up the mid versus the low, because they take different perfect parries now, thanks to the Season 3 changes. It's easy offense. You don't got to think about it too hard, but there's a big but here. If someone has a fast wake up EX invincible reversal, like not only would it win obviously if you hit the button, but you kind of aren't able to stop in time. Like if I just down back right away, it won't let you down back fast enough. The only thing that can really help with that, if you anticipate something that's going to happen, you can just kind of do like a feint to, you know, they see movement. That's what baits out the DP. Now that said. I told you about feinting, right? To fake them out. Because, like, if they see this, you feint. Like, okay. But there's a reason to feint. Because just doing another Thunder Knuckle right after the fact is perfectly valid. Why? Like, look, we'll do this. Medium Thunder Knuckle right away. It's later in active frames. Oh. Plus 4. Plus 4, plus 4, plus 4. That means if I do this knockdown, get the hit afterwards. Oh. Looping pressure. And if it hits, as long as you do it fast as possible timing, 0 on block, because it hits so deep into the active frames. Yay! So, you know, reset the neutral basically if they block. Small combo that loops back into itself on hit. So this option, because you can feint it, will leave you safer for people who have a good EX wake up reversal, unlike the drive rush option. But the drive rush option is probably overall stronger. So tailor it to, you know, how you think the opponent's going to work, but here's some options for you. And then we come to Heavy Knuckle. So Heavy Knuckle is the brute force option. There's no subtlety to it. Like, if you do it fast as possible time on the ground version, it's plus 25. Depending on where it hits, you can have variable frame data, like that's plus 28 instead. But let's assume you're doing like off basic hit confirms. Like you probably would, right? So this, do it, sledgehammer, plus 25. All we're going to do is dash. Like, there's no need to overcomplicate it. We do this, dash, plus 4. Done. Plus 4, we throw, we win. Plus 4, we hit any button that's like a light, we win. Specifically plus 4, we can just go for medium punch, right? Like, if they hit jab, technically we trade, but let's see how that works in practice. Oh, we traded and... You traded, sure, but it says I'm plus 7, which means I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get a guaranteed hit. You feel good about that trade now? Probably not, right? Because I just got a guaranteed combo off the trade. So it's the sledgehammer option. You do it, dash, done. Like, throw, strike, whatever you want. And naturally enough, because throw's an option on the table, they're going to try to throw tech, you know, to not get thrown. And then you just do burn kick, because burn kick leaves us airborne. So if they attempt to throw tech, like do delay throw tech, which most players will do at least once, this is your big nah. And also keep in mind, if you get the throw, the burn kick gives a unique bonus effect that'll naturally combo into the kick follow-up. Or just do the regular follow-up, because the airborne version, same idea. The numbers are a little different, but it's just do dash. You'll always catch up to them, because you're just dunked right in front of you, even if they back roll, and you still have the frame advantage. So all the same particulars are the same, just slightly less advantage, but it all just works out the same in the end. Basically, it doesn't matter if it's off the burn kick, doesn't matter if it's off the thunder knuckle. Dash, do buttons. It's the easiest Oki of them all. Now, what if you land like a bread and butter style combo, right? So something, something hit, something, something seismo, and then we do that. Like, we could do that, but the thing is, there is a point of diminishing returns at the end of a combo. The follow-ups don't give you that much more damage, realistically, and you're spending even more stamina, more your drive gauge, right? When you're doing the basic B&B, something like that might actually be a little bit better. Why is that? So normally here, we're doing all this here, and if we dash right after, we're plus. Like, that is to our advantage. Absolutely. But for ever slightly less damage, we can just do jump medium punch into burn kick instead, and we just double dash, and we're plus in their face again, right? So just like what we've talked about in the previous section, if we're plus even 2, and we're better than that, we're plus 3, right? Throw always wins, and strikes always win. That's simple. That's done. Like, we don't need to get more complex than that. Admittedly, these numbers can be better, but they can be a bit variable. It depends on how fast the timing of your burn kick is. If you're even a frame variable in the air, like it wasn't frame perfect, that changes the Oki. Yes, plus 6 is better than plus 3. 1000%, right? Better for throws, better for strikes. But you're spending the extra bar, and you're relying on variability versus like this and the seismo into super jump medium punch into burn kick. It's always going to be plus 45. We did a different combo again, plus 45 again, right? So just dash, dash, and also gives us pretty good screen carry as well. Up to you. So like the stuff we talked about, the other thunder knuckle, like if you want to dunk them, spend the extra stamina, extra drive gauge, by all means. But if you're looking to save on the resources for not much less damage, just super jump cancel, and instead of doing burn kick, just medium punch burn kick. It'll be plus 45, double dash, plus in their face. Like, it's basic Oki, but it's strong Oki. And another Oki situation, which, you know, a lot of people don't think about because it's file under zoning, but every time you land a seismo, especially, you know, a good mid-screen, medium seismo, right? That is an Oki situation. Like, yes, you can do sick burn kick, follow up. Like, that's an option, but it's kind of hard to see in the moment and you're overcommitting, right? But what if you just get it, right? It's a big pop-up. They gotta land. Maybe they back roll. Maybe they don't. One of the fun, cool, easy ones is, cool, it hit. I'm just going to super jump at you. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to super jump at you. And I land in your face, plus 4. Say they don't back roll it. Cool. I'm just actually touching you now at plus 4. And then, you know, guess strike throw. Like, guess strike throw, basically, right? Like I just did this. Cool, I got the hit. I'm going to fly in now and guess strike throw. Like, that's super easy, super basic, and it's super strong. Another one here, we talked about the value of just dashing afterwards, right? Just double dash afterwards leaves you plus 11. Plus 11, if they back roll, you're not going to be exactly touching them. You could manually just walk forward, throw. It's an option. It's not guaranteed, but what is guaranteed is option 1, which is a little lame and boring, but well, whatever. It's an option, right? Literally just double dash, heavy kick. It'll hit later in the active frames. It'll make it less disadvantage on block. Like, you're not really getting the world off of it, but it's just cool. It's just cool. But let's do something fun with this. Let's go very fun. So medium seismo, or like any, doesn't matter, right? But seismo, because the frame rate is always the same. Dash once, and then super jump cancel, like fast as possible, heavy burn kick. Now, heavy burn kick usually, normally, would just always hit frame 1, right? And if it didn't hit on frame 1, it probably was never going to hit regardless. Here, it's super, 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 super deep into the move. way later than normal. It's also turbo advantage on block. Look at that, +4 and +4 in throw range. Ooh. See, now they're getting a little scary with it, right? And better yet, you know, what if they're a smart kitten, right? They don't just back roll everything, they recover in place. Well, if they recover in place, that becomes a cross up too, right? So, plus turbo plus on block burn kick, or if you recover in place, maybe an instant cross up you really weren't expecting. That's a fun little piece of business. Once again, this is off size mode. This is a low, like, people are gonna get hit by this. This is a very dominant mid-screen option. So always think with Viper, because she's really tailor-built around it. Always think with knockdowns on the brain. Okay, so here we are now. We're at the end of the video. We covered a lot of things with Viper, a lot of tech, a lot of just fun aspects of the character from all levels, beginner to advanced. And how is she as a character? I think she's perfectly all right. Smiling face. I don't think she's best in class, or even if we get to that point, like, to be real, to be all the way real, like, she's harder than everyone else, right? For the time, if you're looking for specifically competitive, if you're playing for fun, whatever. But if you're looking to invest your time competitively, if you're about to dump the time you would put into Viper, you could put it into Ryu or Mai and get better results for your bang for your buck, right? Because they're a lot easier and, like, well, they're just a lot easier and on top of being very effective, right? You don't gotta, like, learn all these weird timings we've learned for the video and all. Like, you just play Street Fighter 6 and it works, right? So at this stage, I think Viper's a perfectly fine. I don't think anything about her is bad. Like, she doesn't have a normal invincible reversal, which is bad, I guess, but, like, that is very much by design. They made her to be that way, right? Like, I don't think anything about her is bad. I think she's a perfectly okay character. She has a lot of unique strengths. She plays a very unique game, which is great. Because, like, frankly, that's what you want if you're picking this character for sure. But she's basically takes more time and effort to do well than if you just pick the easy established top tiers and just run over people with their easy bake stuff. That only matters if you're playing in a purely competitive mindset. You don't care about anything else. For me, I play for fun, and Viper's fun. So that's the win out of the gate. Everything else is secondary for the most part, right? Like, I think it's a triumph they made Street Fighter 4 Viper succeed into this game. I was a doubter. Like, I didn't think it was going to be possible. Like, I thought they were going to dumb her down, and that was it, right? And instead, we can do this stuff I remember practicing for God knows how many hours back in the Street Fighter 4 days, and it succeeded in the Street Fighter 6. That's cool. So all the cool stuff is there. I like it a lot. It is not really a negative that the obviously highly technical character is obviously highly technical. They succeeded. They did what they were supposed to do. Like, if my biggest fault is, like, for her, like, well, don't pick her, pick a top tier. Yo, I could say that for, like, just about every character in the game, right? Like, that's not a Viper specific fault realistically. Like, hey, don't pick Sagat, pick a top tier. Don't pick Elena, pick a top tier. Don't pick Honda when you can play Ryu. Don't pick Chun when you can pick Mai. Don't play Zangief when you can play Mai. Don't play Blanca when you play Mai. Don't play DJ when you can play Mai. Don't play Marissa when you can play Mai. Don't play Luke if you can play... Like, sure, whatever. Overall, I'm just happy with her. I'm very happy that she succeeded in this way. This particular color reminds me of Gold Lewis. I don't know if that's just my broke brain, but there you go. But I'm having fun with her. I think it's really cool they added an exceptionally technical character to the game, especially one that doesn't rely on the, like, same generic Street Fighter 4 drive rush, like, structure systems. No crouch medium kick drive rush, barely needs drive rush combos. Like, it's cool she's a bit alien to the game and she's her own thing. Like, the next character down the road, Alex, we'll see how he goes. I expect he's going to be a lot more generic. We'll see, I guess. But I'm cool. Viper's her own thing, and that's fun. And that said, I hope this video has helped you out to any degree. So if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. This video is going to be over an hour and a half long by the time it's done, I'm sure. And likes sincerely help. But that all said, we're at the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Street Fighter.
This is the life. Help me.